So, entering new markets abroad. These days a large number of businesses both produce and sell in many different countries. So this is selling abroad. But why has there been this trend? Why do businesses feel like selling abroad? There are different reasons to sell abroad. Because there is globalization. So globalization has made it easier for businesses to buy and sell across the borders. That's what we mean by entering new markets abroad. That means you are able to buy or sell across your own border. That means there is international trade. Do you understand? So what are the reasons for entering the new markets? So that's what we need to talk about. Okay, so why do businesses try to sell abroad? One, there's good potential. There's good potential of new markets in other countries. What is good potential? That means the economy of other countries are booming. People are enjoying income, as a rising income. So as a result of this, it allows you to explore such markets. Do you understand? So let's put it this way first. Entering new markets. This implies buying or selling through the international trade. Or selling in other countries. So, if you are able to sell, there are different opportunities when you are able to sell in other countries. One, it allows you to explore their culture, their way of life, and their industry as a whole. Because you'll be able to sell, you are selling to those you don't even know before. People with different norms, different traditions. Are you with me? So one of the reasons why businesses will try to sell abroad is because of the good potential of the new markets in other countries. And when we talk about the good potentials of new markets in other countries, we're talking about their rising income. So income level is rising in so many countries. As a result of this, you as a business, you should try to explore. Because a lot of people have money now. So if they do, then they'll be able to buy. So stop not just for you to sell locally, try to sell across the border. Because there's what good potential. That's number one. Reasons businesses sell across other countries. One, good potential. So like I talked about good potential of new markets. There's a good potential of new markets abroad. So the first one, growth potential. So the level of income in other countries are rising. So if the level of income is rising, then if the level of income is rising, then their spending will also rise. Do you understand? So the other reason is maybe the home market might become saturated, and this new market gives a chance for higher sales. When the home market has become stagnant, static, that means sales is not going higher or lower anymore. It remains the same. That is saturated. That means your sales is not expected to increase for that product. So if sales is not expected to increase for that product, then the product has become saturated. So you should start thinking of extension programs or extension strategy. Remember the product life cycle. After saturation, there is decline. And at decline, no more sales, no more profits. Then you should start thinking of moving your business abroad, which is one of an extension strategy you could use as a business. So businesses might start thinking of selling abroad if the home market has become saturated. Is it clear? So why are they doing that? They are doing it so as they can still witness increase in sales abroad. If the local market is not bringing up that revenue, then maybe markets abroad will do. Is it clear? Great. So, home market may become saturated, which means that selling abroad might increase the sales of the business. Is it clear? The third reason is that there is a wider choice of location to produce products, and this encourages businesses to sell as well as produce in these countries. The business will have more information about the market and be better placed to sell to them as well. There's also this opportunity for a business to be able to choose location where they can produce and at the same time sell. Do you understand? Maybe, for example, we produce bottled water, and our neighboring country, let's say Tunisia, they take a lot of bottled water from us. Why can't we have a factory over there? If there's an opportunity to open a factory there, then we produce there and sell at the same time. Do you understand? So another reason why businesses want to sell abroad or try to explore markets abroad is maybe they have opportunity to produce and at the same time sell in that market. Do you understand that? That means they have the choice to produce and at the same time sell in that market abroad. So this is another reason why a business might want to sell its products abroad. Is it clear? Okay. The fourth reason is that trade barriers have been lowered in many parts of the world, making it easier and profitable to now enter the market. When there is international relationship, when there is international trade, it means the restriction of trade is being wiped off or reduced. Did you get it? So that means there's no restriction about selling and buying from other countries. So if there's no restriction about buying and selling from other countries, then you can explore such country. Do you understand? So if there's no trade barrier, then businesses will be able to sell or buy from other countries. But with trade barriers, that means restriction in trade, it might reduce trading with other countries. It might reduce your trade relationship with other countries. Is it clear? Do you get it? Are you here? Okay, great. So trade barriers will be lowered in other countries, which makes international trade to become easier and more profitable. Is it clear? Here we are talking about reasons why businesses might want to sell abroad. 1. Growth potential. And when I talk about growth potential, what does it imply? It means in other countries, their level of income is rising, their economy is booming. So if their economy is booming, then they are witnessing economic development, which means their level of income is rising. And as a result of this, for businesses to go there, they will increase their sales and maybe maximize profits. Because when there is a rise in income level of individuals in a country, it increases their level of spending also. So that means their aggregate demand will increase. And as a result of that, firms will be able to increase their revenue. Is it clear? 2. All market will become saturated. And when the product life cycle, after saturation, it becomes decline. At saturation, the sales has become static. It's not moving anymore. You are not expecting an increase in sales. And if the business is not expecting an increase in sales from its product, it should start thinking of extension strategy. And one of the extension strategy is you taking your product abroad, across the borders. Maybe that will increase your sales. Is it clear? The third one, business might have the choice to produce and at the same time sell in the market abroad. So a business might have the choice to produce in other countries, at the same time sell in those countries. So that's another reason why you might want to move your business abroad. Is it clear? The fourth one, trade barriers might be lowered And when trade barriers are lowered, it means businesses will have the opportunity to sell at a lower price and making profits. That means you are going to be able to sell outside your own country without stress, with ease. Then that will allow you to make profits. Is it clear? But there are problems regarding these things. These are the opportunities we get when we enter the new market. But entering a new market, it has some problems that a business would or might likely face. Are you with me? Okay, so these are opportunities, right? These are opportunities. Now let's talk about problems entering new markets. Problems entering new markets. So when we are entering new markets abroad, let's finish it. New markets abroad. Whenever you are entering a new market abroad, one thing you need to know about the product, their consumers' lifestyle there. You need to know about the market. You need to know about the likely competitors you are going to meet over there. But you said, yeah? Yeah, you have to do some market research. So this is expensive, right? Okay. So, and there's no way you want to do it. You will still lack certain knowledge about that market. Yes. Do you understand? So there's lack of knowledge about the market. So the business might lack knowledge about the competitors. It might lack knowledge about consumer spending or consumers' behavior or habits in that country. Do you understand? So the first problem a business will face entering a new market is the lack of knowledge. So a business might lack knowledge or might not have a deep understanding about its competitors. A business might not be aware of its competitors and also consumers' habits. So if you don't know about consumer habits, then what happens? You won't be able to understand consumers. You won't be able to give them what they need. You won't be able to know the difference of their needs and their wants. Do you understand? Another problem you could face as a business entering a new market is cultural differences. And when we talk about culture is a way of life. Okay, so their religion, their culture, it might not be the same as you are practicing. Do you understand? So when you produce a product that does not go in line with their culture, with their religion, you might not sell. Your business might fail. Is it clear? For example, producing alcohol over in Libya, that business is done because it's not even going to sell. Because the religion does not accept it or allows it. Is it clear? Oh, so, cultural differences, like I said earlier. As a business, if you are going to go into a new market, you have to put it in mind that you have to produce products that go in line with their religious belief or their culture. If not, you're not going to sell. So if you are a business that does not produce what goes in line with the country you are going, then your business has already failed. Is it clear? So the third one is the exchange rate the exchange rate changes. So if the exchange rate is not very stable, then exchange rate changes can mean the price of imported goods change and products can become too expensive or to sell into the new market. If you are having a fluctuating exchange rate, that means you don't have a stable exchange rate. This could increase prices of importation or prices of imported goods. So if the price of imported goods are high, it will reduce your competitiveness as a business. So you might not be able to sell abroad. Do you understand? Because other countries are importing from you. Are you getting it? Other countries are importing from you. But if your exchange rate is not stable, that means you don't have a stable exchange rate. It could affect your raw materials imported or your product exported out of the country. So unstable exchange rate, it's a problem that a business might face, importing or exporting. Is it clear? So When the exchange rate is not stable, it does not allow the business to financially take decisions financially. You understand? Because you wouldn't know how to budget your operation, as you have to, and you don't have control over them. Because when you go abroad, you have to spend a foreign currency. So, as a result of that, you don't have control over the exchange rate, because it is the price of a country's currency against other currencies. So you as a business, you don't have any power over it. So whatever the market brings for you is what you accept. Do you understand? So this might hinder your own plans financially as a business. Is it clear? Yeah. All right. The fourth one. Import restrictions. So when we talk about import restrictions, we are talking about maybe increase in tariffs or giving quota on imported products. So if there are quotas or tariffs for imported products, this will make the price of imported products to increase. Do you get it? And as a result of that, the prices will rise, which might not make the sales to flow. So there will be low sales turnover, because the prices are high. Do you understand? So, I said import restrictions here. So, tariffs or quotas means, what for a tariff? A tariff is taxes on imports. So if the taxes on importation are high, then the price of imported products will increase also. Yes or no? Yes. So that means firms might not be, it might not allow them to become competitive internationally. That means they might not be able to sell as they wish to sell. They won't be able to maximize sales, which means reduction in revenue and profit. And for quotas, that means you are quantifying the number of products that could be imported into that country. So if there are quantities that are allowed to enter into a new market, that means you are restricted to only those quantities to sell. You won't sell more than that. For example, the country might sell you you can only bring 1,000 bottled water to our country. So that means your revenue would not exceed the 1,000 bottled water that you have to sell, which is not good for the business. Do you understand? Do you have any question about it? And the last problem is increase in transport costs. You know, they have to, as producers, you have to take a very long distance to travel, either by air or sea or whatever, or rail, whatever the means of transportation. If it continues to increase, then your profit will start reducing. Do you get it? So if the cost of you transporting your product abroad continue to rise, then your sales might fall, because you need to increase the price to be able to catch up with the cost. So increase in transportational cost might also hinder the progress of your product selling abroad. Is it clear? Okay, that's 4. 5. Increased transportation costs. So increased transportation cost, it's also a problem that you could face as a business wanting to sell your product abroad. Is it clear? So let me quickly recap, then we start. Listen, entering a new market means what? You are trying to sell your product across the border. You are trying to sell through the international market. What are the opportunities you have selling abroad? 1, you'll be able to have a good potential because you'll be able to explore countries that are witnessing increase in their income level. And if countries are witnessing increase in their income level, it implies that their spending will also increase because their aggregate demand will increase. 2, home market will become saturated. That means your local product is not expecting any sales further. That means you're not expecting an increase in sales locally for your product. Then you should start thinking of an extension program like selling abroad. That might likely increase your sales. 3, business might have the chance to produce and at the same time sell into a market abroad. Selling abroad might give your business the opportunity to open factories to produce abroad and at the same time sell over there, which might reduce their transportational cost. Okay. The 4th one, trade barriers. When trade barriers are lower, that means trade restrictions are lowered, this might allow businesses to want to sell abroad because they'll be able to make profit. Is it clear? Yeah. Now, what are the problems you face as a business trying to sell abroad? 1, lack of knowledge. As a business wanting to sell abroad, you might not be aware of your competitors and consumers' habits. These things are important and this might affect the growth of your products or your sales too. 2, cultural difference. Their way of life, their religious belief, it's important for a business. So whatever you are selling, it must go in line with their religion, with their culture. If not, your product might fail. 3. The exchange rate. The exchange rate, businesses do not have power over them. As a result of this, a fluctuating exchange rate might affect the financial decisions of a business. Great. The fourth one, import restrictions. We talked about tariffs and quotas. These things also makes the prices of importation to become higher. And as a result of that, sales might fall. And if sales are falling, selling abroad, then there's no point selling abroad because you're going abroad to increase your sales. So if getting there, sales is still falling, then what's the point going there? Is it clear? And lastly, increased cost of transportation. Producers have to travel long distance to convey their products abroad. If the costs continue to increase, this will reduce their sales or increase their cost of production, which is not good for the profits. Is it clear? Do you have any